Okay, here we are. It's the Premier League, and these matches were played on January the 12th, 13th, and the 14th. So let's get started. Newcastle entertained bottom club Swansea at St James's Park. It felt a little bit like a six-pointer. An early chance for Gale, and he had a second which went wide of the target for the Magpies. More chances were spurred by Newcastle in the first half, but later in the half, Swansea also had a glimmer of a chance, but it remained goalless at the break. Into the second half, and it was no surprise when Ayew took the lead for Swansea on the hour, converting with a header at the second attempt. Newcastle weren't behind for long though, with Joselu hitting a scruffy ball near the byline past Fabianski. A further chance for Bonney was blocked on the line, and so the points were shared. Now Chelsea, at home to Leicester, looked an attractive fixture. Vardy and Mahrez back after injury. From the kick-off, Okazaki could have scored, putting his effort from an early cross wide. Ndidi brought a sharp save from Courtois, and then a sharp strike from Fabregas kept Schmeichel alert. But Leicester were looking the better, with Vardy sharp as always and Mahrez purposeful. And the Japanese was also busy. Into the second half, and Leicester continued to look the fresher. Mahrez was denied a penalty, and then a deflection just wide from the Algerian shot. On 68 minutes, Chilwell got a second yellow, and the tide turned in favour of Chelsea. Right near the end, Chelsea had a free kick in a dangerous position, but Schmeichel pushed Alonso's effort wide. So the game ended goalless. To the John Smith Stadium, and West Ham were in town, and Moyes was looking for his 200th win in the Premier League, and only 3 have previously completed that many. 2 of them I can remember, Ferguson and Wenger. The third one escapes me at the moment. Anyway, the game woke up on 24 minutes when West Ham, pressing high up the pitch, caused the Huddersfield goalkeeper to make a poor pass out, and under pressure, West Ham robbed the ball, and Noble smashed it home. 1-0 Hammers. A real gift. To be fair, the Terriers responded and were rewarded in the 40th minute as Lolly came in from the right wing and curled a delightful shot into the corner with his left foot. Right from the kick-off, however, and the ball was lofted up front and headed onto Arnautovic, who beat his man and swept the ball home. West Ham on top, and they quickly added a third 10 minutes later, with Arnautovic setting up Lanzini, and the finish was confident. On 61 minutes, the same pair enabled Lanzini to get his second, and that's how it finished, 4-1 for West Ham. Now, Everton arrived at Wembley with recent form poor, halting Allardyce's encouraging start. Spurs were at full strength. Rooney had an early effort disallowed for offside from a flick at a corner. Then things started to happen for Spurs, and on 26 minutes, a crossfield pass from Aurelio in oceans of space, and his cross shot was turned in by Son. Marginally onside this time. Into the second half, and Son eluded a defender just inside Everton's half, and his cross was met by Kane, and it was 2-0. That was inside 2 minutes of the restart. Everton were being overrun. Son hit a post, and eventually Kane added a third from a dire cross. Eriksson completed the rout on 81 minutes when he smashed in number 4. Everton back under pressure. So to the Hawthorns. Albion were at home to Brighton, and Pardew desperate for a first win for the Albion since August. And they made a good start when Evans at the back post converted with a flying header. And on 21 minutes, they added a second into the second half on 55 minutes when Dawson converted from a Brunt corner. Brighton had a rare skirmish, but Albion had ended their poor run at home. Crystal Palace took on Burnley and Hodgson only one defeat in 11. Sacco was back for Palace after a long period out through injury, and it was him getting the opening goal on 21 minutes, cutting in from the left and drove it through Tarkowski's leg and past Pope. Mee thwarted another Palace effort, and Palace continued to be on top. Barnes had a snapshot, which Hennessy pushed over the bar, and Benteke also had a chance. And Sacco had another effort inches wide. The second half with more half chances for both sides. And near the end, Benteke, most at fault, lacking in confidence, missed another. But Palace continued their climb up the table. Watford and Southampton were both looking to change their poor form and stop their slide to the relegation zone. It was very much a game of two halves. The first dominated by Southampton, and they got a brace from Ward-Prowse on 20 and 40 minutes respectively. Watford just lacked any energy whatsoever, and Marco Silva must have said something at half time because it worked out well, and with the addition of Captain Deeney, it affected the mood considerably, and Watford were rewarded. Gray scoring after a shot hit the bar, and on full time Decore saving the day for Watford, so it was 2 each. So to Sunday's matches, and first to the Vitality Stadium, with Bournemouth looking for a first ever win against the Gunners in the Premier League. Now Sanchez didn't travel, suggesting he could be a Red Devil before the week's out. The first half saw Arsenal controlling possession as usual, but chances were few and far between. Welbeck should have done better as Begovic blocked his effort. Bournemouth also had an effort by Frazier blocked by Chambers. So into the second half, and on 52 minutes, Bellerin overlapped on the right, ran into the box and sweetly hit the opener. But Begovic did get his hands to it, but it continued to bounce into the corner. Well, this setback motivated the Cherries, and Wilson was too quick to a cross, and Cech was left helpless, which made it 1 each. And then a little later, Wilson laid a beautiful pass back to Ibe, who hit the ball past the shot check, who again looked slow. Overall, Bournemouth deserved the win, and only Wiltshire left the stage with any credit for Arsenal, as they looked average at best. So, to the match of the weekend. Liverpool at an excitable Anfield with Man City the visitors, and they were at full strength. Of course, Liverpool were minus Coutinho, but the three were on view: Salah, Mane, and Firmino. It was a pulsating match with Liverpool really fired up, and they were playing a high press to disrupt Guardiola's silky passing style. And this paid off quickly, with City losing the ball inside their own half, and Oxlade-Chamberlain running arrow-like into the box and hitting a great strike into Ederson's left corner. Well, City responded as expected, and De Bruyne started hitting those long passes and crosses into Liverpool's defence. There was no Van Dijk. He couldn't play because of a slight hamstring pull. But it was clear that those swinging cross-field passes were starting to hurt Liverpool. And on another De Bruyne found Sane, and he got a yard of space, and he blasted it through Karius at the near post. And so we were one each at the break. Well, Liverpool's fast pace was unsettling City, and it continued into the second half. And there was this magical 8 second half minutes when Liverpool scored 3 goals. Yes, 3 goals. The first, a deft chip from Firmino over a stranded Ederson, who made after the Ox had put him through. The second, a tremendous left foot strike from Mane after great approach work. And Salah got Liverpool's 4th from just inside his own half when he nonchalantly swept the ball over a stranded Ederson who'd made a hash of a clearance, kicking it straight to the Egyptian. The stadium was rocking and City was stunned. But to their credit, they kept passing it around and they were rewarded with 2 late goals, which kept the closing minutes tense. But City's unbeaten record had gone. Klopp was delighted. But Guardiola focused on the good attitude when down 4-1. And it was a great advert for the Premier League. Okay, to the last game, the Monday night match at Old Trafford. And an expected crowd were looking for a united win against struggling Stoke. They weren't disappointed. A comfortable 3-0 win. Valencia, back after injury, hit a sweet left-hand shot inside Butland's right-hand corner. And on 37 minutes, a slide rule pass by Pogba to Martial just outside the box, and he hit a curler into the corner, and that was 2-0 into the break. Second half action, Lukaku wriggled free in the box and crisply hit a left foot shot into the corner. And that was that. United 3-0 winners. Okay, so what have we got now? Well, City's lead has been cut to 12 points. The goal of the week, well, too many to choose from, but I think Mane's glorious strike for Liverpool's 3rd. And that's it. Now, don't forget to subscribe so you get notification of my videos. And tell your friends. And I'll be doing a World Cup video show in the summer with added clips of the best moments. So stay tuned. That's the wrap.